is the 77 WABC minicast.
Now we have Bill O'Reilly. We have the great Bill O'Reilly.
Tomorrow, you think it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. You think the president has invited him to the White House?
With a name like O'Reilly, 110%. Bill?
I am. I'm looking at the White House right now. So I'll be there tomorrow for Trump's German, so I don't know if he gets the Irish thing, but we'll try to figure it out for him. And they have a big reception with the president of Ireland. I've never been there. I've never gone to it. So it should be fairly interesting. I don't know whether
I'm supposed to go to Greek Independence Day next weekend at the White House. Or not next week.
Is that right?
Next week sometime.
Mm-hmm. So, look, the White House, and for those who haven't taken a tour, and I always recommend that you do that, is really the pinnacle of places you have to see in the United States. There's nothing like it.
It's always
really,
special.
Right.
I'll tell you, the special places are the White House, Camp David, and Air Force One.
Yeah, by the way, Capitol Hill. I'll throw Capitol Hill while you walk into the Capitol. The rotunda is beautiful.
Don't forget the Supreme Court.
Yeah, don't forget the Supreme Court.
Don't forget Mount Rushmore.
Yep, absolutely. So, Bill, obviously tomorrow's a big day. Today, a lot of people are talking about New York, and I know you have something you want to get off your chest.
Well, I mean, we talked about this before the election of Mamdani, that he's a communist. And people, they look at you like, oh, no, that can't be possible. And I'm saying, yeah, he wants to seize your assets. So the latest is that he's trying to convince the legislature in New York, and they're not far away from communists up there in Albany, to drop the exemption for estate taxes to $750,000. And I think the exemption now is, I know it's in the millions, but
it's about 9 million. It's about 9 million.
Okay.
7 million.
And that's low. That's low. That's a low exemption because it's generations here that work for their wealth and pass it down to their children. And that's what happens. And that's why you build up property values and security for your family and educational possibilities and all of that, because it's based on work. It's based on hard work. So this guy wants to say, no, we don't care about your hard work. Once you're dead, we want your stuff.
Also, he wants to change the rate to 50%, Bill.
And right, he wants to rack out. He gets half. And remember, the feds come in too. And so I don't know how the state, the local, and the feds would all divide it up, but you wouldn't have very much, or your children will not have very much. So if you had a nice house somewhere, you'd have to sell the house to pay the taxes. And I'm saying to myself, this is confiscation. You're confiscating people's property. They've already paid the house for the house and the taxes on the house over all of these years. And now they're dead, and you're coming in and taking it away from them. That's communism.
You know, Bill, one of the powerful statements, did you guys see this? Bill Ackman came out, and he had a great line. He said, New York, you can't live in it when you're alive, and you can't live in it when you're dead. You can't die here either. I mean, they're socking you from every different direction.
And it's not going to cease. It's just a matter of how much they can take from the achievers and give to the people who don't achieve. And I don't mean that in a pejorative way, Rita. I feel very sorry, and John knows that I give a lot of money to charity, a lot of money to poor kids.
Yes, you do.
We have
yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yep.
Okay.
And, someday I'll announce you gave $10,000 to the Police Athletic League after you spoke. Not only did you speak and raise money for the Police Athletic League, and you gave a $10,000 donation besides, and 2 of the board members quit because they're woke. And someday I will announce their names.
Well, I don't even care about that. What I try to do is give back, which is a cliche. But it's true, because I consider myself very lucky. I couldn't have done any of this living in Finland. All right, Finland's the happiest country on earth. I don't know whether you saw that. It came out this week. 7th year in a row, Finland's the happiest country on earth. You know why? Because you can't come out of the house. It's too cold.
And something on Denmark. Denmark was the
right. Denmark's third.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought we were close. I'm half Danish, Bill.
Yeah, you get your little sauna, and you're in the house for 10 months out of the year. You're happy. And you're drinking like crazy, so you're inebriated all the time. Why wouldn't you be happy? And you don't really have to work very hard because the socialist government gives you everything. So that's why they're happy. But anyway, my philosophy is I'm the luckiest guy around. I'm from Levittown. I came from nothing. I had to borrow money to put gas in my car to get to my first job. That's absolutely true. I could not drive from Boston to Scranton, Pennsylvania. I did not have the cash to get there. I had to borrow money to get there. That's how tapped out I was after BU. But anyway, now that I'm affluent, I feel a responsibility to do it. But I don't want Mandami with his hand in my pocket, my hand in my kids' pockets.
I talked to Newt this morning, and he's coming on again. And I was on with Stuart Varney today, and I had a new statement that, how did I exactly say it?
It was about, you're talking about the power to tax, power to destroy.
Power to tax is the power to destroy. And the fact is that people came for religious freedom to America. Now, if you're able to, and I believe in religious freedom, I don't care if you're Muslim, Jewish, or whatever. But with class, it's just class warfare. And the fact is, if they go after, whether it's billionaires or whether going after the real estate industry, and they pick a certain class, is that against the Constitution?
It is.
Being able to go after. And we got, you know what we have?
John Yoo.
We have John Yoo, that's coming on, right after Newt. And we're going to challenge him with that question because, I mean, we're going down the wrong road.
Well, look, the Constitution says that Congress has the power to levy taxes, okay?
Yes.
On income and in special circumstances, but you don't have the power to confiscate private property after you purchase it.
Yes. And what else happens? What else happens? Going after specific classes. And you know what? I looked at the camera at Fox this morning, and I said, Mr. Schumer, I said, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, sit down and negotiate a fair and square common sense deal. I said, enough is enough.
Well, they won't, though.
Well, let the American people realize what's happening.
But they don't want the American people to realize that. And
well,
so
maybe the American people will wake up. If we say it the right way, Bill, if you say it the right way, I say it the right way, Rita says it the right way, the judge says it the right way, that's what we're here for.
Well, I put all the burden on Hochul because Hochul's vulnerable in November. Now, if Hochul's going to go along with all this communist stuff because she can knock it out herself, okay, then, look, Washington State, California, you're seeing the biggest, wealthiest people leave. The guy who started Starbucks just bailed out of Seattle, another communist town. All right, he just moved to Miami. And this guy, his whole life was Seattle, and now they're communists there, and they are. Okay, and he's going, well, I'm sorry, but you're not going to confiscate my property because I want to leave it to my family. Think about that. You work hard your whole life, and Mandami's going to take all your stuff when you die? That's not America.
They have a right to tax earned income, but not assets. That's what these wrong Constitution with these wealth taxes. They can't do that.
Once you pay for something with after-tax dollars, it's yours. The government has no right to confiscate.
And somewhere along the line, we got to get the Supreme Court to do something about it because otherwise they're going to destroy this country.
And 3 of them would vote against that, John.
Right. That's the scary thing.
Decision, but you got 3 on the Supreme Court right now that say, hey, you want to take O'Reilly's stuff? Go ahead. They don't like me anyway, but you put any name in there.
Bill O'Reilly, we stand side by side in making America great again. Thank you so much for coming on.
And have fun at the White House
and enjoy
tomorrow.
the White House. And you know, the big question with the president, we don't need destroyers from other countries. I think the president just wants to find out who's on our side and who's not.
I will tell him that I'll pave the way for you, John. I'll say, hey,
Please tell him that.
Coming in next week.
You got it.
Exactly. Bye, Bill. Thank you very much. Bye.